We're happy to see you.
Adam speaks for all of us.
Well, we are.
Adam's PFF grade is the greedy committee.
Are we not happy to see Gio? We're happy to see Gio.
Love to see you.
Giovanni Lopez.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with Ryan.
Gio, that first half against Virginia looked about as comfortable as you've been, man. What was working so well for the offense there, and how do you kind of bottle that moving forward?
I think offensively we just, been stacking days every day in practice. It starts, on Tuesday. Well, today we play Friday, so Monday for us. But it starts in practice every week, and we had a good game plan. And I think Coach Kitchens did a great job with our game plan, and we just got to keep stacking days as a team.
Let's go to Noah.
I'm sure there's multiple, but has there been a moment the last couple of weeks that you've shared with Coach Belichick, just sort of one-on-one with him, encouraging you a little bit and giving you some feedback on things and just telling you to keep going that you could share?
I think Coach Belichick's been great with all of us, encouraging all of us as a team, as players, as individuals. I think for me personally, just me and him meet up every Monday and watch film together and just kind of talk about the game plan, and what the defense is doing and how to go about, that team. So I think for me, every time you get to talk to Coach Belichick, it's a great moment. So for me, just talking to him has been an awesome thing to do.
Is it just the two of you in that meeting, or is it Coach Lombardi too, or just the two of you?
Usually those meetings, just me and him, but sometimes Coach Lombardi hops in there, sometimes Coach Kitchens. We always just watch film together.
Has there been any sort of advice, I guess one thing that's really stuck out to you that you've gotten in that meeting, just being able to talk to him and learn from him?
I think it's been a multitude of things. I can't pinpoint one thing, but I think everything he kind of says, he's always uplifting. Of course, he's going to coach you hard, but he's never beating you down or anything. He's always uplifting.
Ryan.
Hey Jim, Brian Murphy. Can you walk me through the two-point conversion play a little bit? I talked with Bryn Renner yesterday. We talked about that play usually is supposed to go against a man defense. Was there any thought of calling time out there, especially when you saw they were in zone with the motion movement?
Of course, I play as a man beater, but I think we just kind of came out with a play that we practice every day. You always build up to two-point plays during practice, and I think it was a play that we were successful on the whole week. So I think it was just a situation where, you get in the play and you get a play that you scored on all week on, and you just kind of were happy about the situation. I think Coach Kitchens did a great job. I think going for 2 points was a great decision, and I love the play call that we have.
The ball was put on the right hash mark as a left-handed quarterback? Would you prefer on that play to have the ball on the other hash mark? So if you have to roll, you roll into your strong side?
Doesn't really matter to me. The whole week we did it on the left hash, so that's how I trained it all week. So for me, it was exactly how it was in practice.
Pat.
Hey Jim, Pat Wilson from WRAL. I'm sure you came in here with a lot of excitement to play for Carolina, play for Belichick, and obviously you guys have faced a lot of adversity, and you specifically had some injuries and probably some criticism off the field from fans and media. How have you kind of dealt with just going through everything that you individually and the team have gone through to kind of get where you are right now?
I think from a team standpoint, just picking up everybody and having a good head on my shoulders, and just being uplifting in wherever we're at, in the locker room, on the field, whatever. But for me personally, I think just being myself and not being worried about the outside noise. Coach always says don't worry about the outside noise, and for me, that's kind of how I've always been. And me and my dad always talk about everything, and he's been a great person for me to lean on. And, at the end of the day, it's football at the end of the day, and I'm just excited to play football every day. So I never worry about what other people have to say.
Grant.
Hey Gio, when you look back at that Virginia game, what are some of the moments that stood out to you, whether it was the good and the bad?
I think just stood out to us. I think we competed our butts off. I think we competed really hard. I think the team kept showing up. When we went down, we kept showing up. When the game wasn't going our way, we showed up. When the game was going our way, we was showing up. So I think as a team, we just kept competing, and I think we did a great job in that department.
And then also, I know you mentioned after the Cal game how you feel healthier, and of course you're kind of showing on the field. You're throwing the entire windows and everything like that. But do you also feel like you're playing with more confidence now compared to at the beginning of the season?
Let's start playing with more confidence. I think this came with practice and understanding the players more that you're playing with. For me, I got here kind of late, so just building chemistry, and I think I'm just building chemistry every day. I'm gonna go out here today at practice and build more chemistry with my guys. And it's something that we just keep taking every day, keep getting better.
Michael.
Gio, we talked to Chip after the game, and he said that if he could, he'd go out there and play Syracuse tomorrow. Is what he told us. Like, how was the mood on the team after the last two games? It'd be understandable if you guys get a little beaten down with the thin margins, but how are you guys doing?
As a team, I think we're in a good place. You got to think our first couple of losses were not even competitive games. So for us to have two competitive games against a good Cal team and a good Virginia team, I think it was just, you don't want to say uplifting in the sense that you lost the games, but I think it was in the sense that you can show we can compete and we can play with everyone in our conference. I think we're just going to keep stacking days and keep getting better there.
we asked Coach Belichick, or I asked Coach Belichick earlier today about, you know, the mental state of with the, you know, the fumbles on the goal line and just recovering from that mentally. And he said, you know, it's all in our control, basically. Is there a sense of comfort that you can take from that, where, you know, you do have that ability to change your fate, basically?
You know, it's a sense of comfort, but it's also a sense of like irritation where you're like, man, like, it's on us. Like, and that's how we feel. And we feel like these last 2 games have been on us. And those games that, you know, the teams we played were great teams, but, you know, I feel like we had situations where we could have played better and put ourselves in a better situation. And I think that's, for us, it's not a comfort thing, but just like a, you know, an urgency thing to want to get it right and get better.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, Gio, to go off of the previous question, one thing Bill was saying after the game was, you know, turnovers are, you know, kind of the number one point of emphasis, particularly in the last 2 games. What do you think, I guess, in these last 2 games have kind of been the common thread, maybe with some of those turnovers and I guess even the situations that they've been in?
I think the turnover situation, of course, you know, that starts with me. And I think we just, something we worked on, and I think I got to make a better decision in the red zone, trying to throw that ball to Chenard. You know, the ball after I ended the game, I was just taking a shot, you know. But situationally, I just had to be better in the red zone. That's something I need to do better. And I think ball security-wise is something we're attacking and practice every day, and we're doing better. And everyone's getting better, and I think Kobe did a great job. The next time he got to the red zone, taking care of the ball. And it's something, you know, we're still growing as players, and I think we're a better thing there.
I guess when you guys kind of work on that and get that showed up in games, I guess what next level does that take the offense to? Because as you mentioned, I mean, some of them, you know, close to the goal line or whatever. But getting those cleaned up, I guess, what next step do you think that brings you guys to?
I think if we clean up some of the turnovers, and especially in the red zone, that changes a lot of our outcomes in the game, you know, just be honest. And, you know, if we can clean those things up, then we're sitting at a different record. And I think that's something that is something we want to, you know, we're urgently wanting to get better. And I think everyone has a good mindset towards it.
Time for maybe 1 or 2 more. Let's go, Shelby.
Yeah, I guess just following up on that, you talked about maybe making a better decision with the one throw that was tipped. I know that Michael Lombardi was saying on his coach's radio show last night, kind of the idea of maybe throwing that one a little bit lower. I don't know if that's something that maybe coaching staff discussed with you, but as you guys kind of went over that play, maybe what you could have done better, just what stood out, what was that discussion?
You know, one of those situations I was a little too aggressive, and I tried to go back, you know, try to throw a back shoulder ball to Chenard, which, you know, I think is a great player, and I would, you know, trust him. I've hit that throw in practice before, and I think it was one of those situations where I kind of felt like I saw this, I've made this throw before, went forward, and didn't come to the outcome I wanted. Could have threw that ball a little more on the outside, you know, but it's something I missed. I would, of course, want to have back, but, you know, can't go back now. But I think as a team, we're just doing better.
Yeah, and just another quick one. I know that obviously, you know, has some players just step up almost kind of out of nowhere on offense throughout the season with Demond June and earlier against, I think it was Richmond. He had that great game, and then you had, you know, Madrid Tucker and just his performance as a freshman. Can we expect from your vantage point more kind of players to emerge like that, maybe new playmakers throughout the season?
I think for us, like, you know, from the outside looking in, it looks like they're coming out of nowhere. For us, it starts in practice, and Madrid was doing great in practice. Demond was doing great in practice, and I think it was just one of those outcomes where you've earned your reps during the week, and I think Madrid had a great week of practice and just showed up for us, and it showed up on Saturday for us. And, you know, whoever, you know, we keep doing good in practice, we're going to play, and that's kind of our coach's, you know, motto, and that's what happens.
Let's go to Adam.
Gio, I was going to ask you, where did Madrid Tucker come from? But you just told us. Along those lines, can you see those guys coming? Like, I know Demond, you know, showed up in the Charlotte game earlier in the season, but I mean, heck, we're 6-7 games into this thing, and Madrid Tucker comes out of nowhere for 8 catches. Like, can you see them, those specific guys that are going from maybe being buried on the depth chart to performing in games, can you all see that happening in sort of real time in practice?
I think in a sense, like we always have basic groups at the end of practice where the younger guys are practicing. Yeah. You're seeing Madrid, and you're seeing Demond do really well. You're like, okay, like they look good there. And then we have Sunday night football on Sundays where we practice again, and you see those guys show up again. And it's just one of those things where you just kind of hear the same name over and over again. You're like, all right, well, this guy's probably making his way up on the depth chart. I think it was a situation where everyone kind of saw it coming with Madrid, especially Demond. And he's always just kind of, same thing with Chenard. He did the same thing earlier in the year. So as a team, everyone's just getting better. I think it's something that we see in practice.
Does anyone just to follow up, sorry. Okay. Does anybody like Freddie or the younger Lombardi like give you a heads up like, hey, we're going to work 85 into the game plan now. We're going to work 86 into the game plan. Does anybody like say, hey, by the way, you'll be throwing, you may be throwing to a guy you haven't been throwing to?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So Coach Lombardi, Coach Gibbons both kind of like mentioned it to you, like, hey, these guys are probably going to work a little more this week with you and stuff like that. And Coach, even when we had to play UCF with Shenard, Coach Belichick kind of told me about like, hey, Shenard is probably going to get some more reps.
Yeah.
So like, it's something that, you know, it's not just thrown on you. Coaches make sure you have a, you know, good eye and good, you know, situational understanding what's about to happen.
And last one for Jeremiah.
Hey Gio, what did you see on Saturday that Tucker was doing to make him such an easy target for you to throw to?
I think the things I saw Saturday is the same thing I seen during practice during the week and the things I did in the summer when I threw with them. You know, me and Madrid are some of the younger guys I'm pretty close with, and I've thrown with him 1,000 times, and I threw him to him in practice after practice, and it was the same thing. So I just like think kind of, you know, practice reps make game day reality, and it was the same thing he was doing in practice. So he just kind of showed up on Saturday as well.
What's your relationship with him off the field?
That's my dog. Madrid's like, it's my little brother. It feels like I'm really close to Madrid and his family. You know, he stays around at my house sometimes and just watches my dog when I was gone sometimes. But Madrid's my dog. That's my little brother for me.
Thanks,
Appreciate you.
What kind of dog?
Yeah, Frenchie, yeah.